Hi, Stephanie. How are you today?
Hi, Nicole. Doing well.
Great. Can you introduce yourself for us to start off with?
Absolutely. I'm Dr. Stephanie Rodriguez. I am the director of the STEM Opportunity Alliance, which is housed at AAAS, the American Association for the Advancement of Science.
Can you speak to a bit about some key moments or perhaps mentors that influenced your own career path and your own journey to the AAAS and perhaps to your experience as an Amgen Scholar?
Yes. I mean, probably like a lot of folks, I wasn't exactly sure what I wanted to be once I entered college. I had some experiences that had me interested in both science and law. And through some of my like early coursework, got more and more excited around the sciences. And some of the key moments that helped really solidify that in my career were these hands-on research experiences. So as a high school student, I was able to do some summer research in a lab. The PI had an NSF award that allowed them to bring aspiring scientists into their lab. And so I was one of those high school students and, um, you know, plated some bacteria on a slide, and that slide ended up in some grad student's paper, and that was like a really cool moment. And I thought maybe science is something that I could be interested in. And so that's what got me exploring that a bit in college. And it was actually those more rigorous research experiences that got me more hooked. For one, I always needed a job. Ever since I was 15 years old, I needed a job. And so some of those research experiences all of the research experiences that I was able to participate in actually provided paid work and learning opportunities that allowed me to choose pursuing an opportunity for engagement in sciences over working at the body jewelry kiosk in the middle of the mall, which is what I had been doing. And so I think it was really important to get those experiences where you could be hands-on in an environment with professionals who were doing real science. But as a low income first generation student, it was also important that I be able to take care of myself while I was doing those experiences. And so if those weren't paid, I would have chosen something else. And my trajectory could have been very different. Um, but I think what really inspired me to kind of step out of what for me sometimes is that imposter zone, which is like, do I really belong in sciences? There's not a lot of Black women in immunology labs. Certainly, I had no female mentors and barely any mentors of color while I was pursuing and exploring whether or not I even belonged or could do science. And one summer, I was an Amgen scholar. And I didn't actually know I was an Amgen scholar. I was participating in a summer research experience at Stanford. It was a paid research experience. I was having a great time. And at the end of that experience, some of us, but not all of us, were invited to present our posters at the Amgen Scholars Research Conference. And that was when I was like, oh, so this whole thing, my whole ability to be in this program doing this stuff is because I was an Amgen scholar. And so it kind of sparked for me, it was like a little seed in the back of my head, which was, how many times have I participated in something and not known? Like the
Yeah.
company or the foundation or the supporter who was making it all possible, and how might that have opened my eyes to different types of partners and ecosystems in ways that I might be curious about exploring opportunities with those groups. But in the end, I ended up, being a part of the Amgen Research Scholars Symposium. And it was right at that time for me as well, where I was trying to figure out what I did after college. I had a lot of friends going into consulting, friends going into graduate school, friends going into Teach for America. And at the Amgen Scholar Symposium, I actually won a small award for my research poster. It was like $100. But it was for being a promising researcher, for having quality research in my poster. And it was the encouragement that I needed to decide to pursue graduate school, which I wasn't sold on at that time. And so that was a long, that was a long-winded answer. But I think if I summarized it, I'd say that starting in high school and all the way through college, the key moments in sort of confirming that I belonged in science, that I could pursue research as a path, and that I had a valuable place in contributing to the science enterprise all came through these paid hands-on research experiences that often happened in times when I was not in school. And so that's definitely an experience for me. And I know a lot of my colleagues in the sciences had, and is part of what I take into the work that I do now.
And what you do now is heading up the STEM Opportunity Alliance. Can you describe a bit about the mission and core goals of the SOA, as it's called?
Yeah. So fundamentally, our coalition is working to get more folks into good careers in the STEM economy. And specifically, we're trying to ensure that there is an ecosystem that can prepare 20 million new workers from every part of America's demography can join and succeed in the STEM economy by 2050. And so we could talk more about what that means, but that means working with a lot of different cross-sector partners. And we have over 280 partners across the nation who work on everything from early STEM engagement all the way to workforce development, who are really mobilized around our shared vision and our national strategy for progress and prosperity in STEM.
Oh my gosh. I know as LabXchange being a member of the Alliance, I know I've certainly been super grateful for the connections that we've made, and the collaboration through the Alliance has already been instrumental in thinking about the work that we're doing. I know you and I have spoken a bit about a lot of the national workforce initiatives. So, what are some of the big challenges you've seen in terms of scaling up some of these initiatives and how the Alliance and these collaborations tie into that?
Yeah. There's been a lot of great work that has happened over the last several decades to better help this ecosystem of STEM education and learning and career pathway development understand what strategies are effective to getting more kids engaged, to ensuring all students can succeed in school and STEM foundational coursework, and how to help people envision what their careers are like. But these things are all often happening in a silo. And so what we end up having is a really fragmented ecosystem where any individual may not have a very seamless journey from being curious about STEM to having a career in STEM. And I think that's one of the big intractable challenges that we have right now is how do we take all of these amazing pockets of work that are helping us be more inclusive, create more access, have more people succeed in any individual spot of the STEM journey? How do we make sure that you have success and you have a seamless process throughout the entire continuum of what is needed? And so, we know that when you are deciding about classes to take and where to spend your extracurricular time when you're in high school is going to depend on what you're interested in. And if you didn't have the opportunity to get excited about STEM in your earlier years, you may choose a different path, right? I could easily have been a lawyer instead of a scientist. And it was those experiences that really made it so that when I had the choice of what to pursue, I was choosing things that helped me become prepared for a career in the sciences. And so it is, I think, this creating the infrastructure to have seamlessness across all of the important silos in the STEM journey so that individuals, job seekers, can have access to really continuous pathway. And so I think what that means for partners like LabXchange, for example, is that your career explorer tools are beloved and well used. And we want to make sure that one of the factors we know is a big challenge is families, students, counselors better understanding what careers in STEM are even available to people. And so there's a really important role for every partner in our coalition to do the work of their organization to the best excellence that they can, and to be a part of a coalition that can help align that work with other partners. I like to say that the assets that you create are the answer to another partner's needs, right? And part of your goal is to get the tools that you're creating into the hands of more folks who can use them. And when folks can use tools like Career Explorer to help clarify what pathways are available, they can start making more success in the goals that they have as well. So we think that's part of the beauty of having such a large cross-functional coalition of partners, is really trying to break down those silos so that our out of school time ecosystem is thinking about Career Explorer as a way to capture the energy and enthusiasm of young people when they're not in school, and also thinking about the way mentors from industry might also be able to use that as they're trying to sort of evangelize for career pathways that they might be on.
Absolutely. And I think certainly the Career Explorer will really fit a good some of that, some of the holes, some of those gaps in what you're referring to. I'll kind of, I think, wrap us up here with this last one about thinking about the future impact of SOA and perhaps the role of LabXchange and the Career Explorer within the next 5 years, or these some of these goals that you had, or timelines, excuse me, that you had mentioned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, our hope for LabXchange is similar to the hopes that we have for all of our partners. And what we really want to envision is how might you all and our other partners start to think about how you work different together to achieve some bigger results. And so if we know that knowledge about careers that is timely and focused on in-demand occupations in regions is part of what's missing in helping folks on the ground create that really seamless career pathway opportunity. There are a lot of ways that our partners can transform the way they work to close those gaps. And so what we're hoping is that this year it's the first year of thinking about how we implement this ambitious strategy across all of our partners. It's about trust building, understanding relationships, and seeing where we can work together. But over the next years, it's actually about doing that work together. And so we're really hoping that for LabXchange and for other partners, that you all will be able to find new strategic partnership relationships that might help you think in a unique or hyper-local regional way about how to expand your connection and footprint in collaboration with each other.
Are there any other final thoughts or things about LabXchange or Career Explorer, any other sound bites that you want to share with us while I have your time here today?
I think that it's more to say that the groups who are supporting LabXchange or any of our individual partners are really critical components of helping to achieve a seamless career pathway ecosystem. And so the more that we can coordinate our organizational strategies to be in alignment with each other around what that seamless career pathway ecosystem looks like and can achieve, the more likely we are to start actually moving the needle on some of these really big population level goals that we haven't seen move in a long time. And so I think that my takeaway is, all of us need to continue to really excel in doing our good work. And if we can squeeze out that slice of strategic capacity to really think about partner alignment and how to build those relationships across the STEM enterprise, we'll start to really see the needle move in a more visible way.
Wonderful. Oh my goodness. Well, I am grateful for your time here today. I look forward to continuing to work with you as part of the SOA, and Pillar 5, I think, is the official pillar, but I think there's some other great ways that we'll continue to work together. I think I'm still on record, but again, grateful for your time here today, Stephanie. And again, we'll be in touch soon.
All right. Thanks, Nicole.